Alright guys, I have a RU match that's rarely used with Sharpedo43, and we battled several times in the past. I think this might be the first time we're doing RU, which is a tier kind of smacked in between UU and NU, and yeah, it seems to always be underplayed. Not many people play RU, so it's gonna be fun. Anyway, as you can see, I am bringing along that combustion that guy made for me, so I'm like, I wanted to try it out, and we'll see if I can actually do that. So I lead with Quillfish, Pokemon I very rarely use, which I guess fits the theme of rarely used. I'm just going to go ahead and set up some spikes, because why the heck not, as he leads with Braviary, and it is actually just going to U-turn, which actually does a lot, so I'm kind of thinking that, well, it does a lot because, A, this thing is Defiant, which my Intimidate makes it backfire, so the other reason that I'm kind of thinking that thing is banded, but not 100% sure yet. Either way, I'm just going to go out into Bronzong now. I don't really want to take an Earthquake from this Flygon. He ends up just going for a Defog to get rid of my Spikes, which, that's okay, I suppose. And, yeah, I have Bronzong in now. He's just going to go ahead and U-turn because there's not a whole lot he can do to me. And I believe I am going to set up either Stealth Rock or... Do I go? I think I go for a Trick Room first. No, I just go for the Stealth Rock. Okay. So I set up Stealth Rocks to replace my Spikes. Maybe I can get some Spikes back in. Now, he has actually two Pokemon that I think can remove hazards. He has that Flygon, which apparently has Defog. Did not actually see that one coming, but he also has Blastoise, which could have Rapid Spin. So I just go out into my Spiritomb in case he wants to try to Rapid Spin. This is a Spin Blocker because it's a Ghost type. And, yeah, he's going to go for a Scald. Thankfully, he does not get the burn since this is actually a Choice-Banded Spiritomb. I'm actually just going to go ahead and trick him the Choice Band, but still my moves are mostly physical, so... Kind of very fortunate there that Skull did not burn. And, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and swap him the Choice Band. It's a Choice Band Blastoise really isn't good. And, yeah, that makes me happy and stuff. So he's going to go ahead and Toxic, thinking that I'll switch. I do not. I actually just try to go for the Will-O-Wisp, thinking that he would switch, not wanting to stay in with the Choice Banded Blastoise locked into Toxic. So, yeah, that's just a pointless turn there. I'm going to switch out this turn, though, thinking that he might predict the Will-O-Wisp again, so I go out into Bronzong, who he cannot Toxic, and yeah, that's basically what happens. So he switches out now, being locked into Toxic against a Steel type is not very beneficial. He goes into Banette, which I assume is a Mega. He goes and frisks my normal gem, so he now knows that I have Explosion, but that's fine. I'm just going to go out into my Spiritomb again. He ends up not Mega Evolving. I'm not really sure why. Maybe it's a regular Banette, which would be curious. But, to my knowledge, there's no reason to stay as regular Banette ever. Like, you know, with some Megas, you want to stay as the base form, like Slowbro for a little bit, because to take advantage of their ability, the base form's ability, or like Sharpedo, but I don't know why. It just seems to never Mega Evolve. Maybe it is just a regular Banette. Not really sure. I just go for that Sucker Punch. He ends up trying to attack me, and, yeah, that doesn't actually work out for him because it's dead. So, there you go. In comes the Flygon, and I'm going to... actually, he just goes out and tries to switch out again, maybe trying to pivot. Ends up working out for me. I was just going for the Will-O-Wisp, expecting to die. He was probably predicting a dual switch. He's trying to overpredict me right now. Being that he is, you know, behind me at the moment, he wants to try to overpredict me as much as possible to get back into this game. But I do end up getting a burn off on the Blastoise, which is kind of nice just for the residual damage. I go into my Electros now, and I'm actually thinking that he might try to switch into Flygon, so I go for the Giga Drain instead of the Thunderbolt. But he ends up having Mirror Coat, and if I had just went for the Thunderbolt, that probably would have killed this Blastoise. Instead, he's going to be able to hit me down to really, really low, and that stinks. I'm just going to go for another Giga Drain to finish him off and get some HP back. He goes into Braviary. If only I had clicked Thunderbolt this turn instead of Giga Drain again. Oh well, because that would have totally destroyed the Braviary. What can you do? He's just going to go ahead and U-turn, which is fine by me because it is going to kill Electros. However, I should be able to see what Pokemon he goes into first due to the fact that U-turn will trigger. He makes actually a pretty... I'm actually sure if it's a good play, but he's going to attack his Blastoise here. He knows that his Blastoise is dead after a Bird and a Stealth Rock hit. But now we both have to reveal our Pokemon at the same time, so that's what that did for him. Sure. So, yeah, we end up both going into our Flygon, which is fine. I know that his Flygon is Life Orb, not Scarfed. Mine is Scarfed. So, I know that I can outspeed his Flygon and hit him with a super effective Dragon Claw. And that will take out his Flygon, so that's pretty nice for me. It's kind of a risky play for him to stay in there, but I guess he didn't have any Pokemon he felt comfortable taking a Dragon Claw or an Outrage from me. like this Melioda. I'm just going to stay in and try to see how much Dragon Claw does. It ends up doing actually less than half, so not very good damage as he goes for the Psychic, which is going to do good damage to me. So I'm going to go ahead and switch out. I don't really want to lose Flygon quite yet. I mean, being a Scarfer, it is a lot of utility use. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and switch out, and I go out into my Bronzong again, knowing that I can take a Psychic if that's what he wants to go for again. He ends up just double switching, though, I guess predicting Bronzong, so as I said, he's trying to over-predict me, and his time he got it. He got the switch he wanted with his Delphox coming in against my Bronzong. Obviously, this is not a very good switch, and once again, trying to over-predict, he goes out into Braviary, even though that was a good matchup for him, trying to predict my switch. And, yeah, I did switch out into Quillfish. Now, this isn't so bad for me, though. Quillfish actually does have higher base speed than Braviary, so I'm just going to go for the Explosion. Yeah, that's right. Exploding fishes. That's the things I carry on my team. Kapow! That's right, this team has 2 Kapowers. So, you might see another Kapow yet, guys, and that's going to be able to take out the annoying Braviary. And, yeah, that's awesome. So, I'm going to go right back into my Bronzong now as he goes out into... Sorry, go into Flygon as he goes out into Delphox. And yeah, basically here, I know that he's probably Scarfed. I think I played him before when he's used this Delphox, and most Delphoxes tend to be Scarfed. I know that it's probably Scarfed, but I know that if he wants to kill my Flygon, the only move he can really do is Dazzling Gleam, so I stay in, take the Dazzling Gleam, but now that he's locked into that, and I know that he's Scarfed because he outsped my Scarfed Flygon, I can go into Bronzong, which does resist, get off a Trick Room, and at this point, I pretty much have the game won because Bronzong is slower than his remaining 2 Pokemon, which is Melioda and this. So I'm just going to go for a Gyro Ball to kill this. I now will outspeed the Melioda, or actually outslow the Melioda with Trick Room in play. That more accurately. And I'm actually going to go for the Explosion, just finish it off with a bang. Now, actually, the Twitch chat did point out that this was probably a bad play. I should have just went for the Gyro Ball again, just in case this Melioda actually did have Protect. Which, you know, it can carry. Any Pokemon can really carry Protect. It was a risky move to try to end it with a bang, since my last Pokemon was Combuskin, which did not match up well against Melioda. So I get Combuskin, I guess I don't even get to use it. But it still, you know, it still did things, because you know what? It was that last Pokemon that allowed me to win instead of, you know, tie or something. Anyway, today's question of the day is, what is your least favorite move in any Pokemon game? Well, actually, let's just go with Gen 6. What is your least favorite Pokemon move? A Pokemon move that you would not consider ever using? I mean, I'm talking about like a really bad move, like a low damage move, but a move that people think is good, but you just don't like. You know, I just don't like that move. I would never use that move. You know how it is. But yeah, that should be interesting.